Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're making this super cute little fishies that you can turn into a magnet and put it on your fridge like this. Or you can use a push pin like on this one here and stick it into your wall. You can even make several of them and make like a little school of fish. You can also, if you have one of those brooch pins, you can turn it into a brooch. Or finally, if you make it double-sided, you could turn it into a keychain and put it in your backpack. But today I'm going to show you how to make a magnet and a push pin, since this is what I have. So let's begin. A few words about the materials. So I'm using embroidery floss to do all the stitching here, and also I'm using this medium-sized beads, but you can use anything you want really. You don't have to use beads, or you can use those tiny seed beads. Just whatever you have on hand, or however you want to make it pretty. Same for colors. I like this color combination. You can choose any colors you like. And here are my beads and magnets and the push pin. We're gonna use either or. So for magnets, I like to double them up so the hold is stronger. And these are about 8 millimeters. I will link them below. And for push pin, it's better to use one of those flat pins, something like this. If you only have the regular tall pins, you could use cutters and cut off this part. So let's begin cutting the felt. So let's begin the assembly. So since our fish is one-sided, if you're making one-sided, you need to decide which way it's gonna be facing, if it's gonna go right or left. So mine's gonna go right. So I'm gonna prepare all the elements for it to go right. So just be mindful of where you start stitching. So this is our top fin. It's gonna go here, and the bottom one's gonna go here. It's actually this way. You can use the reference picture from the pattern. And so when we do the embroidery, make sure you do it on the correct piece. The tail doesn't really matter because it's symmetrical. And the eye is gonna go here. Sometimes felt pieces shift or stretch while you're stitching, so if that happens, just cut off the extra. I'm going to use a French knot stitch to add some light reflection to the eye, but if you're new to them, check out my video on French knots. When attaching the beads, the length of the stitch should match the size of the bead approximately. If you make the stitch too short, the bead will probably rotate and it's just not going to look as pretty. I'm going to add a few more French knots here to add some texture. I'm using a disappearing ink marker, but if you don't have one, you can just use a regular washable marker like Crayola. And I would use a shade that's a little bit darker than your felt color. Alright, so let's put our magnet or pushpin in. Again, if you're using magnets, I like to use two, so the hold is stronger. And before you attach the magnet, make sure you test it which side will actually stick to the metal. So I usually just use scissors. So just test it like this and make sure that side is facing outward. So this is going to be inside the fish and this is your outer side. So before sewing it in, test again because you want your fish to stick to the fridge. I usually just take a little square or a circle and just stitch it in, just make this little pocket. So just go around and so to make sure that it's not going to come out. And if you're using a push pin, again, it's better to use the flat one. So just find the middle, push it through like this, and cover with a scrap of fabric. And I'm gonna use the push pin, so I'm just gonna finish stitching here. And here we go. This is gonna be sticking to the wall. Okay, let's assemble our fish. So you can use a template and mark where the fins are gonna go with your marker. Just like this. Or you can just wing it and place them where it feels right for you. So the bottom fin is gonna go here, and we need a little opening for stuffing. So I'm gonna start stitching here, and we're gonna go all around, and we're gonna stuff it from here. And here I'm getting too close to the eye, so I'm trying to go behind the eye and not poke through the white of the eye. And here I've reached my marker for the top fin, so I'm gonna put that in like this and continue stitching. First fin is in, and let's keep going with the blanket stitch until we reach the tail position. Okay, so here I reached the tail, and I'm gonna put that in. And I've reached my marker for the bottom pin. I'm gonna put this in. And we're done. Now you can put it on your wall or on your fridge if you did a magnet, or you can make several of them and make a little school of fish. And you don't have to follow my stitching patterns or colors. Come up with your own and just have fun with it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.